for the longest time, I didn't know how to achieve it necessarily. I didn't know anything about it. I just knew that at a certain point in my progress as a young freestyler, after I'd been working at it for, I guess, at least 4 or 5 years, if not longer, I arrived at a place where I had enough technique to where when I started freestyling, I could just fully lose myself in the act of freestyling. And it's like, being in the zone. And it's like, you totally lose track of time. You forget where you are even. It's like this thing where, sometimes I would like end up doing this like 7-minute verse and not realize it. And then like suddenly my head comes out of it and I'm like, oh my God, like where am I and what's happening right now? So it was just something that started happening to me when I would freestyle, and it was so addictive. I just loved that feeling and still love that feeling to this day. And I've said before, and I think it's true, I think a big part of the reason why I've been able to put so much time and energy into the craft of learning how to freestyle is because freestyling is like an access point for me to get into that flow state. And I feel like it happens to a degree almost like every time, and there's levels to it for sure. Like there's the times when you're fully tranced out and you're just completely in it and there's nothing else happening in your mind. But even short of that, I enter a level of flow almost every time that I start rapping, and I think, for me, what's so cool about freestyling is it's to this day, it's incredibly challenging, right? Even the basic techniques are still challenging in their own way. And certainly the more advanced things that I'm attempting are even more challenging. And, come to find later, as I started learning more about flow state and like people who have actually studied flow state and kind of know how it works, sort of the key ingredient is you have to be doing something that's sort of at the edge of your ability, right? So if something is too challenging, like it's way beyond your ability, then you're just going to be overwhelmed and stressed and you won't be able to enter flow state because of that. On the other hand, if something is way too easy, then you're going to be bored and you're going to get distracted and it's not going to demand your full focus. So what's so cool about improvising as a musician, and for me freestyling, is that it remains challenging all the time. I'm able to add more layers of complexity once I figure out a certain skill and get it down. And so it always remains just challenging enough to where I can sort of work right at the edge of my ability and just be completely immersed and completely focused on what I'm doing. And it's such a beautiful thing, man. I love it. And you asked, if I enter flow state in other situations. I'm sure I probably do, but none nearly as consistently as freestyling. To me, it's like one and the same. It's like flow state is freestyling. And I think it's so dope that, kicking a rhyme is like, it's called flowing, it's like, I'm a bust a flow. It makes so much sense.